What's up? This is Matt with Let's Talk Music. I'm here with Savannah. She's joining us today from Switzerland, and she is with the band Infinitas.
Hello. Nice to have.
So, Savannah, what is your position in the band?
I play the violin in the band, actually. Yeah.
Yes, I thought so. Mary is
Yeah.
the singer, correct?
Yes, she sings and Petey plays drums and Seth is the guitar
Awesome.
and bass. So he does both.
So we were just discussing before the interview that you're originally from Oklahoma and you now live in
Yeah.
Switzerland. So how did all that take place?
Yeah, so I was born in Oklahoma. I moved to Switzerland when I was 2, went back to Oklahoma until 4th grade, and then my parents, my mom's Swiss, and my dad's from Oklahoma.
Okay.
Um, and so then my dad, yeah, lost his job in the States, and then we moved back to Switzerland. I grew up there from 10 on, yeah. And yeah, that's where I kind of had most of my childhood.
So you probably have a dual citizenship then, don't you?
I do. I can vote.
Uh, so when did you start playing violin?
I started actually when I was in Oklahoma, at when I was 9 years old. I started in elementary school. There's just like a big orchestra everybody could join, and you're like 20 kids in this one room trying to play the violin. You can imagine how that sounded.
Right.
Yeah. And then after a year later, I started with like just lessons alone with a teacher and continued on with orchestra and made my way through punk into metal.
Awesome. Yeah, I got two daughters that play violin, so I know exactly what
Really?
you're talking about. One is
Oh,
a
cool.
one is a senior, so she's pretty well at the craft. The other one is just starting out, but is picking it up very well. I mean, she's already reading sheet music and playing ahead of the class.
Wow, that's nice to hear. Cool.
So we definitely promote music around here. Obviously, I got my channel here. But yeah, that they do. We've actually had them play when people come over and stuff. It's been pretty neat. I mean, that there was the whole beginnings of the screeching and this and that and the frustration, but you know, the oldest one actually wants to when she graduates, she wants to play on a cruise ship.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Like as a musician, just go around and play on a cruise ship.
Yep. We've
That's a cool idea.
they've always got them set up somewhere playing, so and
Nice.
but so tell me about the new song. Is Kratos,
Kratos, yep. That's what it's
and that
called.
means
Yep.
God of War.
Yeah. So Kratos is kind of like the god of war. Um, yeah, it is basically we hear it now too. The song is about revenge,
Mhm.
but you see in the music video itself, um, Kratos, he is like the god of war. He
Yeah,
wants to go into war, take revenge. That's kind of what it's about.
he that the video was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Do you guys and do you enjoy making videos, or is it kind of like, oh God, we gotta go do this today, we gotta shoot this today? I mean, what's that like for you?
Um, I mean, I love shooting videos. It's always so exciting. It's a it's always a super long day. You get up at 5, 6 a.m. and then make sandwiches for the whole crew, make sure everybody, stuff like that. Then drive there. It takes maybe another hour or two, and then you're on the set with, people doing makeup and then the video crew and people helping. It's cool. You have a group of people that you really like being around, and then we had an amazing video team. And yeah, it's really exciting. But when you get home at night, you just fall into bed. You're like, okay, I'm done.
Right. Yeah, kind of like playing a show then, huh?
Yeah, definitely. But it's like playing a show, but it's like the whole day.
Right.
So you have to like really be there, and people are asking questions, and you always have to. At the same time, you're doing all this stuff. You still have to look good too. You're just like, and we were
Right.
out in the forest or in a cave, or just like kind of. But yeah.
So, I listened to some of the other songs too. I mean, you guys, it's I really can't think of anybody here that I could really compare it to. I mean, as far as the music itself, because it's so versatile. I mean, you guys, like when he sent me this, for God of War, it was um like it opened up. I'm thinking, okay, kind of like Arch Enemy, with the scream, and then she got into the clean lyrics, and then the violin popped in, and I'm like, holy crap, it's kind of a. I mean, how did you guys meet? I mean, I know that you moved from here to Switzerland, and then I mean, you just that kind of boggles my mind. How did you all come together?
So Petey and Sev, the guitar player and the drum player, they grew up in this really small mountain village together. And they met when they were like 14 or 15. And they started the band about 10, 12 years ago, actually.
Mhm.
And so they started off and had, different members. Um, and then their violin player in 2019 I quit. So I came in. They had actually asked me the previous years, like 4 or 5 years, constantly if I would come to play with their band, but I was playing off with other bands, and it was a huge commute to go all the way to the mountains
Right.
for band practice. Um, and so yeah, then 2019, I was like, you know what, whatever, we'll do that, and it was really cool. I love that, and they're just really cool people to be around and do music with. And then yeah, and then our new singer came in summer of 21 exactly.
Yeah, I read that
And
press release.
yeah, yeah. So then she came in, and then yeah, we've been just really writing songs and trying to get. And then we eventually recorded this last single now in August now. Um, we were playing some shows and stuff.
So,
Yeah, it's cool to have her along.
after this one, do you guys plan on releasing another single or?
Yes, so the next single will probably release the next couple months or something.
Okay.
And then we're gonna release some more singles because that's how it is nowadays. We only release singles, not
Right.
albums. But yeah, and then eventually we'll be releasing an album because we do have it's still really important to us because we have a huge concept, a story that goes through these songs and through each
Hmm.
album, drive a world and um, a story that somebody's going through, and that's really important to us. But we still have to release singles just because, yeah,
To
that's
keep relevant.
what we're getting. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, and that's today's music world. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
the days I've got a few albums. My wife bought me a record player for Christmas, and I bought a few albums. I definitely want to get some more. But I remember as a teenager, I had stacks and stacks of tapes, CDs, and that's all gone now. I mean, people are trying to bring it back. We I go to concerts, and I'll at the merch table they'll have um CDs or records. I actually one kind of blew me away because they had a cassette tape, and I was like, holy crap, what's anybody going to play that on? Because you can't find a cassette player anymore. And
Yeah, it's hard to find.
right, and the guy said, well, we're talking with Sony and a couple other places that we want to try to get them to make some Walkmans for us, and we're going to sell the Walkmans and the cassette together as a promo to bring back tapes. I'm like, well, good luck with that, buddy. But it's a cool idea because I mean, it is nice to have that something tangible that from your music that you can say, hey, here, try this out, listen to it.
Definitely, that's what we or all of us we just love CDs and vinyl and everything, and that's what we are thinking now with Kratos, the next single. It's like, okay, we don't have a CD with the single on there or a cassette. What should we do? And then we actually came up with the idea to make like a little kind of like a little handout. So it's like a little booklet just
Hmm.
for the single. So you have something in your hand that you can actually give to somebody with a little download code into it, so you can technically buy those little handouts
Right.
just because exactly what you're saying. It's cool to have something in your hand. Maybe put it on your shelf or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's kind of I mean, that's one of the big money makers for bands nowadays, anyways, is their merch. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you're, busting out t-shirts and albums and everything else, then you're doing well. I mean, because I've talked to many artists that said streaming, it's pennies on the dollar.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
it's pretty much getting out there and playing live shows and selling your merch. So
That's it. Yeah, merch is basically, and even that, there's also festivals and venues taking more and more off merch or commissions off merch as well. So it's,
oh really?
yeah, it's crazy. Even that's, disappearing. But that is, you know, basically the main part where you get your money. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you really, I mean, look at the history of music, it's always gone full circle over and over and over and over again. So I think that, eventually the streaming and stuff will kind of fade out, and people, I mean, people love nostalgia, so they'll get back into that, of wanting to do tapes, CDs. I doubt 8 tracks ever make a comeback, but uh, it's it is really it's really cool to be able to, like my last one of my interviews I did was with the band Saliva, and they had a record and I bought it, and it's, they all signed it for me and everything, and I was happy as a, pig in shit. I was just like, wow, I got a signed record. But yeah, I mean, it's like, speaking of touring, what I know 2023 is just starting, but how did 2022 go for you guys as far as getting out there and playing shows?
Yeah, I think it was kind of like post COVID, and you're trying to find shows, and we were more like we were really focusing on recording, getting our first single out with our singer and stuff like that. So we played a couple shows around in Switzerland, um, and now we have a booker from Germany. Actually, he's looking more for shows around Europe and Germany as well. So we'll
Mhm.
probably have. It's not sure yet, but some things might be coming up in the near future, like for in the fall or something. But
Yeah, I actually have an interview tomorrow with a band from Germany.
okay,
And then there's a band, I believe it's in June that I set it up for, June 1st. They're coming to Cleveland. Um,
oh, cool.
they're from the
Yep.
UK.
Okay, so
So,
you're gonna.
it's I mean, I know it's got to be costly, but do you guys have any future plans of playing in the US?
Yeah, I mean, definitely if we can, we'd love to come. I'd love to come just because it's so cool. Um, yeah, we don't have any definite plans right now, but as soon as we can get over there, we will be over there.
So outside of releasing singles in 2023, I mean, you said you got a booker, so I mean, are you excited to get out on the road and start playing shows?
Definitely, definitely. I can't wait, or we can't wait to finally get out to festivals. Well, I mean, there's so many cool festivals here, in Germany, Switzerland. That just an amazing amount of people come, and you get to play your music and share it with them, and it's just amazing that they come and listen.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that, and just to share this new era kind of with everybody.
There's actually one that's in your old home state, Rocklahoma.
Yeah, I've actually I know I've never been, but I always there because they have some pretty cool bands there as well sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, I remember when I was younger watching videos on MTV and seeing, like, you know, live in Brazil or live in England or whatever. And I mean, they're packing these huge stadiums. I mean, there's thousands of people. And I'm like, that would be so cool here. And, finally they started doing it. But
Yeah.
I don't think that we still compare to the originals over there. Cause I mean, even there, South America, whatever, they're packing these big, huge soccer stadiums, or they're just setting up a stage in a field like they did with, the Moscow Peace Festival there in Russia. I mean, there was, I
Mhm.
think, 100 something thousand people there. That would be,
Wow.
yeah, that would just be an unreal crowd to play to. I mean, what is the biggest crowd you
Yeah.
get? played to?
that we've played to,
Hmm.
or um, what was it? I think it was there was Elevaty. I don't know if you like a Swiss folk metal band, like one of the most famous folk metal bands here around here.
Hmm.
We played for their album release. That was really cool. That was 800,000 people, something like that. But yeah,
Okay.
I forgot what the number was, but that was probably the biggest crowd that we've had so far. We got to play at Metal Days in Slovenia once. That was really cool. Yeah, but that was that was on a small stage.
Yeah, it's I anymore. I like the smaller crowds. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I like to be able to, if I want to stand up front and watch the band, I can stand up front and not get hit by people bouncing all around. I
Yeah,
mean, it's probably just my age. I mean, I still
I have the same thing actually. I prefer actually smaller concerts. Like I was so Opeth came a couple months
okay,
ago. I went to go watch them, and it was actually a pretty small venue. And at first, I was like, yeah, I want to go up front, see everything. At the end, I was just, you know what? No, I'll just go by the sound technician, just listen there. You have the best sound, and you're in the back, and you
right.
see everything. It's like this is great. Why would I? And it was a small venue. That was yeah.
Well, and
It's
something else I've noticed about the small venues is like they crank it up pretty damn loud. So it's like the farther back you are from the amps and the speakers, the better it sounds.
definitely,
It's,
definitely,
when I
yeah,
was up front doing pictures, I had a photo pass and I was, in between the crowd and the stage, and I was, it was, I wouldn't say it was deafening, but I really couldn't make out the vocals, and the music kind of sounded like it was all running together. And then when I
yeah,
was done with my pictures and I went back towards the back, then it sounded good again. So it's like I remember as a kid, like, oh man, I want front row tickets. It's this and that, and now I'm just like, yeah, I just go wherever,
yeah.
whatever sounds best.
Uh,
So like, um, with your violin playing, what genres do you do? I mean, how did you, when you started out, was it like classical pieces? Was it, just Mary Had a Little Lamb? I mean, what from your beginning to now, what was in between there?
well, it was yeah, definitely Mary Had a Little Lamb in the beginning, and,
Heard
and
that one.
then went to classical, and I did that until I was probably 18, and then I got out of school, and I was like, and I was more into like punk and metal and stuff, so I was like, I want to do that, but with violin, and then I found this Irish punk kind of flogging Molly kind of band, and I started off there, and yeah, I learned with like improvisation. I went through like world music bands and rock bands, just have like some, basically try and get as much experience as I could with um every kind of music style because I love almost every kind of music style. it's
Right.
it's crazy. And so that's why I just think the more you can really like soak up and use with your instrument yourself, it only helps you. And so yeah, I have another world music project going on. I still play classical music sometimes. Um, yeah, but that's kind of why I went from classical to punk to metal.
Do you practice every day?
I try to. Right now, it's not happening that much right now. I actually own a violin making shop, so I'm a violin maker as well. So I'm
Awesome.
surrounded by violins the whole day, and I'm playing just to tune stuff and whatever. But
Right.
you know, I wish I could get some more playing in, and that should be, I hope, in the future. Right now, it always depends. Sometimes it's really intense, and I'll be playing, days on, on and on, and then sometimes it's just like, yeah, three,
So
four
do you,
days.
do you play a four string or a five string?
I play a four string actually right now. Yeah. I'm building a five string right now. I'm excited to play that. But yeah, I play a four string.
Okay. You wouldn't happen to have it close to where you could play something, do you?
Um, it's actually, oh no, I only have the electric violin actually right here, and that sounds like crap if I don't plug it in.
Oh,
I'm
okay. Yeah,
sorry.
no
And the other
problem.
one's actually at the workshop right now.
Yeah,
But
no problem. I just thought I would ask. Every once in a while I get there was a band that I did called Reign of Z. The girl is like Mary. She sings unclean and clean vocals. So I was like, talking to her about it. How does it feel on your throat and blah blah blah. And she's like, she gave me a little sample, and I was like, whoa. And then
Yeah.
another lady that she was from Italy, that Kate Nord. She's got classical training, um, operatic training and stuff, and she did a little piece from one of her songs for me. I was like, it's really cool to hear it, and I think it it makes me smile. I love to hear you know your talent. You know what I mean? And it's just always fun. And I think like everybody in my house could hear it, and they was like, wow, her voice was
Yeah.
just so out there. And I'm sure that you know
Yeah.
I'll have to show the girls this video, the one Kratos, so that they can see you jam, because you know
Definitely. That's cool. Yeah. No, that's amazing that they play the violin.
yeah. I mean, like I said, the oldest one, she's been doing it. She's a senior. She's been doing it since I think like sixth grade, and
Hmm.
the younger one, she's in sixth grade now, and she started it. So there's a place here called the Violin Loft where I don't know if they make them, but I know that they do like all the maintenance on them and stuff. And
Yeah.
so we got a new one, and the older one got it. The younger one got the old violin, and like I said, that they're both very talented at it. So
That's cool.
yeah, like I said, I mean, I try to promote any kind of music. I try to, you know, I can't really play any. I tried. I might try again someday when now that I'm a little more patient. But I mean, and speaking of which, do you teach any lessons? Do you do anything like that?
Um, I used to know when I was in school, I had a student for 2 years, but I quit now when I started working because it's just
Okay.
too much right now for me. But yeah, my coworker actually has two students that come to our workshop and for cello lessons. Yeah.
So you sound like you got a pretty busy schedule. I mean,
I do actually, but I actually tried to like have some room for this weekend because I was like, okay, you know what, you just need to like wind down for once, especially after the release and everything. So, but yeah, but I
did
get
you
to
guys,
talk to
did you
you.
guys have any kind of release party or anything?
Yeah, we actually had like a pre-release party showing last Saturday.
Okay.
So we showed it in the little village where everybody's from, where we have our band rehearsals.
Hmm.
We showed the movie theater, so it's like this really cute kind of movie theater, and about 100 people came from drove like 2 hours just
Oh,
little
wow.
place, and it was really cool because you could see like the whole music video like on the big screen, and we had some interviews going on. We had the people that played Kratos or the girl doing the fire show and everything. They were all there and took pictures and went to go eat something after. That was really cool, and it was amazing to have the feedback and share it with everybody and see it the first time, on the big screen. That was a cool event.
That sounds like it. That's got to be quite gratifying.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I, you're not only are you getting your newest project out to other people, but you yourself are kind of seeing the finished product on the big screen for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's
and like it's loud, and you're like, whoa. And just I was always looking at it on my laptop or on my phone or something, and then it's like, wow, this is actually crazy quality. Like, oh, this is what videos are in nowadays.
yeah. And I mean, if it's funny because I've talked to people that do you remember the band Steelheart sing the song "I'll Never Let You Go"? The guy has a real high voice. They were
Okay,
around
okay.
in the early
I've said I'm
90s.
really bad with band names and band like song. Like if you like I'll hear like a guitar solo or like maybe I'll hear something that I'll recognize it, but I can't remember what a song or an album or anything is called.
Right. Well, I was talking to him about a band they did back, or not a band, but a song they did back in the day and the video. And he was like, yeah, man. He's like, I remember that video. That cost us like $150,000. And I'm
Oh my God.
thinking, this is back in like early 90s. He's like,
Yeah.
nowadays, he's like, you can do it in a basement. You can, set up your own props, get your, your friends and stuff to do the acting and whatever, and it costs you a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that's good for you guys too, is, you're not spending like, with Michael Jackson and Thriller, millions of dollars on a video. You're
Yeah.
spending, minimal amount that you want to spend, and it's still coming out great. I mean, like I said, your guys' video was like, I mean, watching a movie with a soundtrack to it.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I have to say our video team was really, it was really cool to work with them, and they really knew what they were doing. That was great.
And that the guy that played Kratos, he's a big fella. He
Oh yeah, he is. Also in real life, he's just like
Yeah. At first I thought it was animated, and then I was like, well, no, so it's
he's real.
yeah, but it is. I mean, it's I think that I'm happy for you that you get to enjoy all these different you know things like that with the video release, and making the videos that that you enjoy doing all that. It's not it's the saying goes that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yep.
So, and you seem to love it too. I mean, you
I do. I do.
not only are you playing violin, but you're making them, and everything else. So I mean, my hat's off to you. It's off.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so nice. Those words. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's really cool to, and it's amazing, when we release something and then you have people like, okay, yeah, let's do some interviews and stuff like that. I mean, that's what we thrive off. Like, we need to get our music out. Like, and that's why we're also so thankful to just have people like you, just to, because you have your fans, your people that come and listen and watch your things, and it's
Right,
just
right.
it spreads, and that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, anymore, pretty much it's word of mouth. I mean,
Hmm.
I have people come up to me all the time like, man, have you heard of this band? Have you heard of this band? And most time I'm like, yeah, because I just, I have such a wide range myself. But
Definitely.
like every once in a while, I'm like, no, I haven't heard them. They're like, oh, check out this song. And I'm like, okay, and I'm like, okay, I really like this. And then, try to find their people and set it up. But it's been it's been kind of a long climb for me. I started off with a couple of live ones with some local people. They were a little bigger than local, but it's then you start getting to where publicists are getting a hold of you, and that's really cool. Like I think I've got now, let me think, I have three publicists over in Europe and like six publicists here, Los Angeles, New York, whatever. So it's been a process, just like with you and your band.
I can imagine. Yeah, definitely. That's what it is with
But
every.
I love it. I love talking to musicians. I love talking to people from all over the world. And I mean, I've even had a couple of bands I've done from over that way that I think one was from Finland, and he was really worried about his English. And
Hmm.
I was he because he before we started recording, he's like, you're going to edit this, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, I just worried about my English, and he did fine. you know
Yeah.
but it's fun to talk to people from all over. And with that being said, Savannah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go so that you can get to the rest of your evening. And
Oh, thank you.
really do appreciate your time. I will get this edited. With the editing, I put in the description for your new video so people can check that out. Um,
Okay.
and then I'll send it over to Marcus, and you guys got Facebook and all that stuff.
Yep, we have everything, so we'll
Okay.
spread it. We'll
I'll,
spread it.
I'll send it to you guys through messenger, and then
Okay.
I'll send it to Marcus also.
Great. Hey, thank you so much. That's awesome.
All
Thanks.
right, no problem. Well, you have a good evening, and again,
You
thank you
too.
for your time.
Thank you so much. Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.